morning students. So in the last class we discussed about the prime number detector. So within that particular program, if you look at the architecture body, so there we are supposed to represent each and every component which was present in our circuit diagram. So that's why we did in that particular program, where it consists of 3 inverters, 1 2 input AND gate, 3 input AND gates and 4 input OR gate. So all those must be instantiated so within that particular architecture body. Okay, while coming for component declaration, per model only one component is enough to declare, but while in the case of while we are instantiating those components, each and every component, how many times it consists within that particular circuit, that many times we are supposed to represent. Because of that, all those 3 inverters, 2 input AND gate, 3 input AND gates and 4 input OR gate, all we instantiated within that particular architecture body. Okay, suppose next I would like to generate an 8-bit inverter. So 8-bit inverter in the sense, so what it consists of? Simply a module where it consists of 8 inverters. If I am write a program for that, what I have to write in that particular architecture body? 8 times same inverter I have to call. Anyway, component statement, okay, is same for all those 8. Only labels are going to vary and input outputs are going to vary. Other than that, so whatever the component that we are calling, so all those are all same. So by means of constructing that particular 8-bit inverter, so we need to instantiate 8 times, okay, which seems to be somewhat difficult. So because of that, instead of instantiating that many times, so in VHDL we have a tool like where that one is a generate statement. So by means of using the generate statement, we can able to create repetitive structures by means of using a for loop. Okay, so that is what we are going to discuss right now. That loop itself we can able to call it as iterative generate loop. By means of using the generate statement, which allows we to create such a repetitive structures using a kind of for loop. Okay, we are generating a loop. So how many times that particular loop needs to rotate means that depends on how many times we are supposed to instantiate that particular component. So because of using that particular generate statement, we can able to generate the repetitive structures using a kind of for loop. Based on that particular one, so writing once for loop is enough to generate n many number of, okay, that particular gate. So once if you generate a loop for that, so repetitive structures we can able to create for the same component. So by means of that we can able to eliminate the, so every time, okay, if that particular one consists of 8 inverters, 8 times we are supposed to instantiate in general, that we can able to overcome. Okay, instead of keep on every time instantiating that particular component, using of that particular single for loop, 8 by using a single statement 8 times we can able to generate that particular structure. So that is the advantage of that particular iterative generate loop. Simply generate statement we can able to consider it as. So that statement this particular VHDL consists of. And the advantage of that particular generate statement is using a for loop, single statement multiple times we can able to generate. Okay, same structure multiple times we can able to generate using of the single statement. That is what the advantage. So we will look at how we can able to generate that particular one. So before that, first we need to know the syntax for that particular simple iterative generate loop. How the syntax seems to be. Based on that, so we can able to create, we can able to include those statements within our architecture body. So while coming for this, so this is how the syntax of iterative generate loop seems to be. Starts with label. Okay, any name you can able to give under that particular label, which is going to represent this whole function. Okay, so label colon, then next for. As we discussed, generate statement, it consists of the including for loops, it can able to achieve that particular operation. So because of that, so it starts with a keyword for. Okay, for, then identifier. So here identifier, any name you can able to give. Okay, so but if you look at in this circuit, there is no physical significance for this particular identifier. Here I am generating identifier, so only to generate loop, how many times this particular concurrent statements, okay, so needs to occur. So that I am going to indicate by means of this particular identifier. So because of that identifier, it don't have any physical significance. So if you don't have any physical significance, those we can able to consider them as variables. So previous classes I already mentioned signal declaration and variable declaration. Okay. So variable, while you are discussing variable declaration, we mentioned that if the signals don't have the physical significance. Like while coming for prime number detector, we mentioned inputs, outputs as well as internal signals. But so in these type of cases, some of the signals they don't have the physical significance. Okay. So those we can able to consider them as variables. And so here that particular identifier is variable. Okay, we can able to consider it as. And next to that, okay, in is a keyword for identifier in range. Here we are supposed to mention the range for this particular identifier. Whatever variable we considered over here, for that we are supposed to mention the range. Okay, either 0 to 8 or 8 down to 0. By means of mentioning that particular range, we came to know, okay, how many times this particular concurrent statements, okay, needs to execute. Then after that, and here, by means of mentioning the range, so we came to know what is the type of this particular identifier. As I mentioned, identifier is a variable. So whatever signal or variable that we are using within our program, so those must be declared to certain type. Okay. So but while coming for here, this identifier, which is a variable, for that the type of the variable is implicitly declared based on the type of the range. Okay. Whatever range that we are going to mention, based on that particular range, the type of this particular identifier, which is variable, so was specified, implicitly declared. So let it be here range I mentioned it as 1 to 8. 1 to 8 that belongs to the integer type. So because of that, obviously this particular variable gets a type of implicitly declared. This variable belongs to a type of integer. So because of that, so the identifier, which is a variable type, was declared based on the range type. Whatever range type that we mentioned, within that particular range, whatever type that we mentioned, that will be implicitly declared for that particular variable. So because of that, externally there is no need to specify, so what is the type of this particular variable. Implicitly declared based on the range given by us. Okay. So then generate is a keyword. Okay. So that's what the main one, because generate statement. Okay. This is what we can able to call it as generate statement. For that, generate keyword. Then after that, we are supposed to write the concurrent statements. Okay. So how many concurrent statements we can, okay, you are supposed to execute, that many you can able to write. Here he mentioned only one concurrent statements anyway. So only one statement here I am supposed to realize. Let it be 8-bit inverter means, so one times inverter functionality, if I, one component, if I instantiate it by means of using component statements, so how many times based on the range, that many times I can able to execute. Okay. So that is what generate statement and concurrent statement. Okay, based on this particular range, so that many times. So that range will be assigned to variable. Each time by means of executing once, that variable is going to increase by 1. So by means of that, up to whatever range we mentioned, if it is 1 to 8, first variable of 1. For that, it is going to execute this particular one and variable 2. Then once again, up to, so 8 times it needs to execute. That depends on the range. And one more point is, whatever identifier, which is a variable mentioned over there, that variable we can able to use in this particular concurrent statement. So because of it's already implicitly declared the type as equals to range. So because of that, these identifier, okay, so which is a variable, directly we can able to use within that particular concurrent statement. Okay. And finally, we have to close that particular generate statement by means of using and generate. So here this is the starting of that particular loop. Here this is the closing of that particular loop. And generate. So this is what the syntax of simple iterative generate loop. Okay. So using of this particular one, okay, we will look at an example. So here our intention is to design an 8-bit inverter. What it consists of 8 inverters, and that's logic circuit seems to be like this. So first inverter, second inverter, third inverter, fourth inverter, fifth inverter, sixth inverter, seventh inverter, and eighth inverter. Here I am mentioning input as x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6, x7, x8. While coming for output y1, y2, y3, y4, y5, y6, y7, and y8. And here I am assuming so this whole is a module, okay, 8-bit inverter. So this is an 8-bit inverter. This is how it seems to be, where it consists of 8 inverters within that particular module. And these are all the inputs, these are all the outputs, x1 to x8, y1 to y8. So for this particular 8-bit inverter, we are supposed to write program in structural description style. So what we are supposed to do for that? So first we are supposed to mention the entity, then component declaration. After that, within architecture body, we are supposed to call, okay, we are supposed to instantiate 8 inverters. Okay, starting from U1 to U8. If I consider label name as U1, U2 and so on. So that is the case previously as per our discussion. So in that manner we are supposed to write. But here, because of using the generate statement, using a single loop statement by means of using the for loop, using of this particular simple statements, we can able to realize all the functionalities of 8 inverters. So that we will look at over here. Okay. So coming to this, so this is what the 8-bit inverter we are supposed to realize. So first, anyway, we are supposed to declare the library, which is an IEEE library. Okay. And next, we are supposed to add the package, which is std_logic_1164.org. Okay, which that particular package belongs to that particular library. And next to that, entity. So while you are writing this particular one entity, here I mentioned this particular one, named it as inverter 8 for this particular model. So because of that, entity name inverter 8 is port. So here I have 8 inputs and 8 outputs. So individually also I can able to describe by means of separating with a comma. So here I considered by means of arrays. Okay. So because of that, X, which is a signal name, colon. So where it is going to represent the input signal for this particular module. So mode is in. Then std_logic_vector. If it is an array, then we are supposed to mention the std_logic_vector. If it is a single bit, simply std_logic is added. So because of here we are generating the array, so type is std_logic_vector, and we are supposed to mention that particular array size range, which is 1 to 8. In another way, 8 down to 1 also you can able to write. Anyway, in this particular case, so in an ascending order only they considered 1 to 8. While we are reading this particular one, we are supposed to read from the left, because of that x of 1 is the first component, and x of 2, x of 3 and so on up to x of 8. Okay, these are all the components of that particular array. Then next, output y. So where so there is no need of read this particular value within our architecture. So if you want to do any process on this particular output signal, then we must mention it as buffer. Then there is a need of reading this particular value, okay, occurs. But in this particular case, this is the output. Further module operations we are not performing on this particular output. Because of that, there is no need of reading these output values. In that regard, simply I can able to consider it as out mode as. Okay. Then std_logic_vector, same range belongs to that. So here my intention is x1 will be assigned to y1, x2, y2. So because of that, whatever range that I mentioned, 1 to 8, same range I mentioned for output as well, signal. Okay. So then we are supposed to end that particular entity by means of considering end entity name, which is inverter 8. Then next to that, so after entity declaration, next we are supposed to start the architecture definition. Starts with the keyword architecture name. Okay, so that is a common practice. Whatever entity name, for that in addition to that, we are supposed to mention underscore arc. Of is a keyword. Inverter 8, entity name must be same. then only that particular compiler came to know that this architecture belongs to this particular entity. So because of that, whatever mentioned over here, same entity name must be mentioned over there. Then is a keyword. Then after that, component declaration, variable, signal, okay, functions, procedures, all those are all going to present. In this particular one, 8 times we are supposed to use the inverter component. Because of that, only one module. Okay, so all are belongs to same type. In that regard, in component declaration also, only one component declaration is going to present, that belongs to inverter. So here I am going to consider component name, which is an inverter. So which is a predefined one. Okay, so here also I am assuming that. So before this particular program, so we already written program for this particular component, which is inverter, and we already executed that particular program, okay, through VHDL compiler, and VHDL compiler already stores information regarding that particular inverter in our work library. So then only if you mention such as like this means it can able to get access from that particular work library, and based on that particular functionality it can able to execute this particular program. Okay, component name, then code declaration code, input we consider it as I, output we consider it as out, same as in the previous program. Then end component. Okay, don't forget that while coming for component, end component, not component name. Okay, so end component. Then next, so that is the only component required. So in that regard, that only one component declaration is enough. Then other than that, there is no internal signals are going to present, and no need to mention any function, procedures and all constants. So in that regard, we closed that particular one. We started the architecture body. Architecture body starts with a keyword begin. Okay. Then, so in general, up to previous knowledge, what we are supposed to do? 8 times we are supposed to instantiate this particular one. That means 8 statements it consists of. But using of this particular generate statement, okay, using of for loop, multiple structures, iterative structures we can able to generate. Already we saw the syntax for that particular one. Okay, iterative generate loop. Syntax is starts with label. So here I mentioned label name as G1. Any name you can able to give as a label. So here we consider that one as a G1 colon, and next keyword which is a for. Okay, so that itself is going to indicate starting of a for loop. Then next identifier. So identifier is a variable. Any name you can able to give. Here I consider variable name as B. Okay. Then next. So while coming for that in. Okay, that is a keyword, and here we are supposed to mention the range. So while coming for range 1 to 8. So obviously here I mentioned 1 to 8. 1 to 8 that range is belongs to integer. So because of that, this variable is implicitly declared as a type of integer. Okay, specifically, so there is no need to mention. So what is the type of that particular variable B? Okay, which is an identifier. So no need to mention explicitly. Implicitly it was declared based on the type of the range. Because of 1 to 8 that we mentioned, that range belongs to integer. So because of that, this B belongs to integer type. Next to that, so generate. Okay, it's a keyword, generate. That's what generate statement of generate loop, iterative generate loop itself. Okay. Then after that, so whatever the component statement we are supposed to execute. Anyway, so within this particular loop, we are supposed to write the concurrent statements. So here, all are inverters only. By means of that, writing single concurrent statement is enough. Okay, that statement itself multiple times it needs to execute. So because of that, so here inverter functionality is required. In that case, so component statement. Anyway, using of component statements only, we came to know that belongs to structural descriptions type. So what is the syntax for the component statement, which is a concurrent statement? Syntax for that one is label. So U1 I mentioned, colon, component name. So which we declared previously, which is inverter, INV. Same name must be mentioned over here. Then we are supposed to mapping the ports. Okay. So while coming for that, so here I mentioned X of B and Y of B. This okay variable I used over here. And this B value is based on the range. It starts with a value 1, first B. Okay, and by means of keep on increasing, so once if it reaches to 8, at that particular point, this loop is going to terminate. Okay, if you look at this particular one, So first, B will be assigned a value of 1. Okay. So because of that, U1 inverter port map X of 1 comma Y of 1. So that means based upon this particular component declaration, okay, this one will be assigned to that particular one. So by means of that X1, Y1. So this functionality, inverter functionality, you can able to get. This loop is not yet completed because of it. So it has done B equals to 1 only. Still it needs to do remaining. So by means of increasing, so 1 by 1, it needs to reach to 8. So because of that, after B equals to 1, next it assigned B equals to 2. So by means of that, we got values for X2, Y2. And next to, so loop will be continued. So X of 3, Y of 3. By means of that, you got these two in the same way, X4, Y4, X5, Y5, X6, Y6, X7, Y7, and X8, Y8. So once B value assigned to 8, so then thereafter that loop is going to terminate because that is the range we gave for that particular variable. Starts from 1 and ends with 8. So because of that, so once this keep on varying from 1 to, once if it reaches to 8, so at that particular point of time it is going to terminate that particular for loop by means of end generate. Using of this particular statement, it terminates that particular for loop. Okay. So then, so it came out from that particular for loop, and finally we are supposed to end that particular architecture. So that with the end architecture name, which is inverter 8 underscore org. Okay. So this is how to develop a program. So by means of considering this particular generate statement. Okay. Using of that particular generate statement. So within that it is going to consider the for loop. Using of this, so iterative structures, it can able to create the so repetitive structures or iterative structures. By means of that, using a single statement, so how many times so you are supposed to instantiate using of this particular single statement, placing in a for loop, that many times we can able to instantiate. Okay, using of a single statement. Okay, so that is what the advantage of this particular iterative generate loop. Okay. So that's what regarding that particular one. And after that, so here we mentioned, okay, we generated the 8-bit inverter. Suppose if I didn't mention this particular range, instead of 1 to 8, if I mentioned with a constant, let the constant -1, okay, to 1. So like that, if I mention with a constant, so what is the advantage of mentioning with a constant? Same program I can able to use for any number of inputs and outputs. Okay, if I want to generate 8-bit means simply that particular constant assigned a value of 8 means, so obviously this program will work as an 8-bit inverter. So if I want to generate a 16-bit inverter, because of instead of mentioning the value, if I mention only constant, okay, let me that constant if I assumed it as a bit, so width -1 down to 1. So based on the value that we mentioned to that particular way, using of the same program, I can able to generate 8-bit inverter, 16-bit inverter, 32-bit inverter. So whatever number of input and output inverter you can able to generate, you can able to achieve that particular one using of a single program. So that we can able to achieve by means of generic statements. Okay. So while initially there is no need to mention the constants values, but while VHDL compiling that particular one, we are supposed to specifically mention the value for that particular constants. That means while you are instantiating that particular component, we can able to assign that particular value. Okay. So based on that, same program will be used for multiple applications. That is the advantage. So because of that, in VHDL we also have a tool called generic statement using of that same program. So the idea is, instead of mentioning a specific range, okay, we are supposed to use a constant over there. By means of assigning different values to that particular constant, same program I can able to use for multiple applications. We can able to achieve by means of a generic constant statement. Okay, so we will look at that particular one. So this is what the generic constant. Okay, so that means constants it is going to represent. So using of that particular constants, so mentioning that particular constant width in a different manner, so we can able to use the same program to design for multiple applications. So look at this particular one. So first we will look at the how that particular syntax for generic constant seems to be. Okay. So while coming for that, using of generic, how we can able to represent the constants. So combining all, we can able to call it as a generic declaration. Okay. So because this generic we are going to place within the entity declaration part, that too before code declaration we are supposed to use that particular generic declaration. So because of entity declaration part that we are using, we can able to call generic declarations. This is how the syntax seems to be. So we are supposed to mention within the entity, okay, entity declaration. So because of that entity name is, after that before code declaration we are supposed to mention that particular generic declaration. It starts with the keyword generic. Then constants you are supposed to mention constant names. So if multiple constants you are supposed to mention is, then separate with a comma. Okay. So constant names colon constant type. What type it belongs to. In the same way, if you want to generate multiple constants, so in the same manner you can able to generate. Okay. So then while coming for the final one, after constant type, by means of closing the parenthesis only, you are supposed to mention the semicolon. Then after that, once if you completed that particular generic declaration part, by means of that we define the constants. So after that, so in general entity it consists of the port declaration. So remaining part as usual you can able to write port declaration, signal names colon mode, signal type and so on up to last one. Then we are supposed to close that particular and entity name. So once if you mention that particular generic declaration within the entity declaration, that too before the port declaration, so these constants we can able to use within our program. Using of them, so the bus size we can able to vary whatever the requirement is. Okay. Now we will look at using of this particular generic statement, how you can able to realize the different widths of bus. Okay. Coming to that, so this is how. So here I consider the same program. So previously whatever I explained, 8-bit inverter itself, same program I consider. Okay. So but that same program I can able to use for any width of bus inverter. So there I realized for 8-bit bus inverter, 8-bit inverter. So using of this I can also able to realize 16-bit or 32-bit. So whatever size it may be. Okay. So if you look at this particular one, how you can able to achieve this by means of making small modifications. That is what constant instantiating, by means of placing constant within that particular program using of generic constants. So we can able to achieve that. Okay. So if you look at that particular one, faster starts with the library IEEE, then package we are supposed to declare. After that entity part. Entity here I mentioned bus inverter is the entity name is. Then after that, as we described previously, here I am supposed to use the tool of generic constant. So that the generic constants must be declared within the entity declaration part. That too before the port declaration. So because of that, after declaring entity name is, immediately we are supposed to insert that particular generic declaration part. It starts with a keyword generic. Okay. Then so constant names. So here I mentioned that particular constant name as width. Okay. So width is a constant name and type is positive. So positive in the sense we already generated so subtypes such as positive nothing but, so for an integer 1 to highest value, whatever value that we can able to consider it as positive integer. So that is a subtype for an integer. We already discussed. So its value is from 1 to, so up to integer highest value plus 2 power 31 minus 1. That is the maximum value. So that is the type of this particular width. Then after that, so generic declaration is over. Only one constant I defined, so over there, and next port declaration. Anyway, same as previous one, based on that particular circuit, X in STD, all these are all same except here previously I mentioned so 1 to 8, but instead of that, okay, so here I mentioned width minus 1 down to 0. That means if I assign width is 8, then obviously the first one is width minus 1, it becomes 7 down to 0. That means so X of 7, x of 6, x of 5 and so on up to the last element is x of 0. In the same way for this one as well. So output also, first element is width minus 1 because of, if I mention width as 8, obviously y of 7, the first element. Then y of 6, y of 5 and so on up to 0. So because of 8 bits here we are supposed to realize, but I started with 0, okay, down to 0. So because of that 0 to 7 it consists of. So here down to no, because of that 7 down to 0. That is what it is going to indicate. Width minus 1 down to 0, nothing but. If I mention width as 8, then obviously, so these x and y, where they consist of 8 array elements. Let it be if I mention 16 over there. Then obviously x and y, where they consist of 16 array elements within that. The array size is 16 for that. Previously the array size is 8. So in the same way, so whatever value that we assign for that particular width, based upon that the bus size is going to vary for both inputs as well as outputs. Okay. Then we are supposed to close the entity name using of an business inverter entity name, which is bus inverter. And next we are supposed to start the architecture definition. Starts with the keyword architecture. Architecture name is bus inverter __org. That is the general exercise. And of bus inverter, same as this particular name we are supposed to give as for entity name is. Then component we are supposed to instantiate. Okay. So whatever size, so that will be decided later based upon the width value. But here my intention is to generate, okay, n bit inverter. Okay, that n value may be 8, 16 or 32, whatever it may be. So I am supposed to declare the component which is inverter. So because of that component name port, so I input the I we declared and output we declared it as O. And end component, by means of that inverter component we instantiate, okay, declared. And next, so architecture body starts with the keyword begin, same as previous one for loop, by means of using the generate statement. Okay, we are considering label for B is identified, which is a variable in. So here previously we mentioned range, okay, 1 to 8. Now here we consider that range as width minus 1 down to 0. So if you mention width as 8 means 8 minus 1, 7 down to 0. Okay, first 7, then 6, then 5. So like that 8 times it needs to execute. Okay, then generate. After that you want inverter port map of x of b or comma y of b, same as previous one. Okay, all these statements are except in range we mentioned that particular value by means of considering that particular constant, generic constant. Okay, so coming to this, how it is going to execute. If I mentioned width value is 8 means 7 down to 0, because of that 8 times it is going to execute. If I mentioned width as 16, 15 down to 0, because of that 15 times it is going to execute. At that time it will act as a 15-bit inverter. And if I mention width 8, 8-bit inverter. If I mention width as 32, then obviously it will act as 32-bit inverter. That means using a single program we can able to realize the multi-bus functionalities. Okay, so that is the advantage of considering this particular generic constants, so which was there in our VHDL. Okay, and finally after completion of this particular one, so end generate. So we are supposed to close that particular for loop. Then after that we are supposed to end that particular architecture by means of using the end bus inverter _org. Okay. So this is what regarding this particular one. So these are all the different tools that we have within our VHDL. So today we discussed two different tools, which is first one is the generate statement. By means of using that, instead of mentioning each and every time we are supposed to instantiation, simply within a for loop, okay, based upon the range. So how many times we are supposed to instantiate using a single statement. So based upon that particular range, we can able to instantiate that many times. Okay, and next to that, using of generic constants. So same program we can able to use for multiple applications such as like this. Okay, so that is what regarding that particular one. Anyway, thank you very much.